Hello everyone and welcome to ESO Weekly for June the 28th, 2013. This is the Shoddy Cast. I am Kyle. Hello. And with me as always is my dear, darling, demonized,
what?
Definitionist. I just made up an adjective.
Josh, thank you. I did not know I merited my own adjective, but thank you for that.
What was it, definitionist?
Hey, what episode is this? How long have we been doing this? I feel like we're getting up there pretty high.
Quite a few.
Somebody's got to count for us.
But anyways, before we get into the news though, I just want to mention that they do have some new Cold Harbor images that you can also use for your like Facebook and Google Plus pages.
Ooh,
I actually put it on my personal Facebook page.
Nice. We'll go ahead and show those and display those across the screen, as well as we've got some great fan art that we haven't been showing lately on the Shoddy Cast, and maybe we should save that for a community segment, or I might just be playing it right now. But yeah, some visual goodies for you. So yeah, what are we starting with?
Well, let's just read off this beta update straight from their Facebook page.
Wait, before you read it, I'm gonna go ahead and guess what it says.
Stop.
Just
bitching.
be patient. Beta's coming.
Pretty much. Okay. We are thrilled to see so many of you excited to participate in the ESO beta test, and we want to give you a quick update. We're continuing to run periodic tests with smaller groups and have been collecting lots of valuable feedback. Although the tests are still for limited time periods, we're eager to get more of you into the action. Don't worry, we'll still let everyone know when we send more beta invites, and we will be looking to bring in many more beta testers as we continue to march toward launch. We appreciate all of the continued support and enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm. Yeah, that's what we call
it. For ESO, and we can't wait to have more of you experience the game.
I gotta say, I rarely read the comments anymore under like the Elder Scrolls Online Facebook. Like that is the hub of scum and villainy right there. They are some of the most annoying commenters you'll find anywhere on the internet right now.
Stop saying stuff we already know and just send me a damn beta invite. That's like,
gosh, it gets thumbed up by like everyone there. You know, those are the most voted for things. So yeah, guys, no new news on that. It's the same as it's always been. I kind of get the feeling we'll get the massive flux of beta invites once they want to test the PvP and Cyrodiil stuff. Because in every interview with what's the PvP leads guy's
Brian
name?
Wheeler?
Brian Wheeler, right. Every interview with him, he has said, you know, there's gonna come a time where we're gonna need a ton of people to really test this system and test PvP, because what it is massive, hundreds of players on the screen type battles, and I have a feeling that's when we're going to see the beta invites. We're going to get a beta where it's probably just a test PvP, and freaking we're all going to be in there. That's my theory anyway.
Yeah, and let me just say, I really believe that there will not be an open beta, in the sense that anyone could just download the game and start playing, because there's so many people that have already signed up for beta. That's why would they have to have an open beta? So pretty much they can send out a beta invite to everyone that has signed up for it, and there will be more than enough players to test out the PvP, server loads, all that stuff. So there's going to be no need for the quote-unquote open beta, just because there's so many people.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. A high demand, what's the point?
Right. All right, let's jump into it. First thing is the Angry Joe interview with Brian Wheeler. There were a few little things here. Not everything was new, but, you know.
That's the thing about a lot of these interviews. There's so many interviews where you get repeat information all the time. And so I guess what we're trying to do for you guys is just bring you any little nuggets and tidbits that are any piece of new information at all, because a lot of it is just repeating things.
All right. So Angry Joe, after doing his little play test thing, he was saying how it didn't feel like the combat had any impact. Like you hit an NPC, it didn't feel like you were doing much. But Brian Wheeler was talking about how that's kind of an older build, the playthroughs people were doing in E3, whereas the beta testing has more of the new stuff that they've implemented, obviously. But one of those things was that now NPCs or whoever you're fighting actually shows more of an impact. Like they dip and kind of get hit back a certain way depending on how you're striking them.
So bitch slap to the right, it goes to the right. And
Yeah,
it's like,
you
ow!
can actually tell which way they're getting hit. So in that, and they also, he was saying how like the screen will shake on the really hard hits and stuff. So just it shows that impact now within the game.
See, and that's something MMOs have always suffered with, is the whole visceral feel. You know, you have these super visceral games that come out, stuff like Far Cry and stuff, where every little action you make has this massive impact, and it feels more real to life that way. In MMOs, you know, we've got the traditional, you swing with your sword one way, and the guy is always going to look he's gonna grimace in the same way, you know, no matter which way you hit him.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it definitely makes it for a more impactful experience. Doesn't make it so quote unquote floaty. That's the word we like to use.
Now, he also mentioned, this might have been a slip-up, I don't know. Have you ever heard of Onyx armor before in previous test games? It might have been brought up.
Onyx.
But I don't remember Onyx armor.
I've never remembered wearing Onyx armor. I'm sure if anyone knows, they'll go ahead and speak up in the comments below, but no.
Yeah, well, that's one of the armors he had mentioned being in the game, Brian, was the Onyx armor, which was interesting. I'd like to see what that looks like. Sure, it's going to be black.
I'm imagining like a cross
Shards
between Daedric and
and
Ebony. Maybe he meant ebony and he used the word onyx instead.
Could be. I don't know. He confirmed that there will be no built-in voice chat, but that's not really necessary since we have so many, you know, third-party softwares to use like TeamSpeak and Ventrilo and all that.
Yeah, you know, hopefully that's something to look at later. I know WoW tried to do their own invoice chat and it failed utterly. Like nobody used it. Yeah. I actually used it a little with my friend and it seemed functional when I used it, but I don't know. I would much rather them look into the built-in like voice chat integration, like integrating say Vent or Mumble before the social integration. Like I don't know, that's more important to me. But
especially for console users, like they would really benefit from having some kind of built-in voice chat.
They're gonna need it. They are going to desperately need it. So I mean, at least when they're forming groups, hopefully it'll throw them all in. Like for example, Xbox Live, you get the Xbox Live parties going.
It'd be simple.
You know, you'd think it'd be pretty simple, but I think consoles, you're exactly right, is going to desperately need that.
Because how are you going to type out, get out of the fire? You're not going to be able to type that.
They're going to
be
dead.
dead.
Get out of the fire. Why are you in the fire? Yeah. You're going to need to yell at people, and how else are you going to do it?
Yeah. All quests for one Alliance territory, including all the side quests, can take over 200 hours to complete. That's just one Alliance. So if you did all of the quests in that Alliance, it could take over 200 hours to complete.
Okay.
That is a lot of content.
Interesting. Okay, I definitely see the way they're wording it, though. Like, including all side quests can take 200 hours. So this is not going to take 200 hours for the person that just wants to rush through and
no, if you like did just like the main quest and just enough to reach level cap, I'm sure it's going to take far less than that.
Yeah. This is for the Elder Scrolls player that likes to look at shiny objects off in the distance and say, ooh, what's that? And runs off and checks them out.
Is what this game is based upon, that whole distraction gameplay, where yes, you have a main quest to go to, but you'll get distracted and you'll see something going on over there. You'll see a dead body that you can loot that gives you another quest.
Sure.
That's how
the true
test games have been.
Yes. In the true adventure game, adventure finds you. And that's what's going to hopefully contribute to this 200 hours of gameplay, is all those side distractions.
In Soviet Russia, adventure finds you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 200, so 600 hours. This is 200 per alliance, you said, right?
Pretty much around there, yeah. So we're looking at hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours.
I mean, 600 hours. That's what I've logged into Skyrim between like 500 and 600 now. Yeah.
All right. And again, since everyone seems to ask this question, will there be dragons in the game? No. There's no dragons in the damn game. They are asleep or somewhere or dead or...
Please stop getting this question.
Yes.
Please.
But it did say that there are some huge Dremora things, even new ones we haven't seen before, so that'll be interesting. And some of them do fly.
He was referencing, and you've seen the concept art with the Dremora that have the wings, and we actually have gameplay of one, and I'll go ahead and show that on the screen for you guys there. Like, there are flying creatures, so I guess if you're a fan of just flying creatures, yes, you're going to get that.
Wabbajack is confirmed to be in the game.
Wabbajack.
The Wabbajack.
I like me some Wabbajack.
Yeah, they were just talking about how lore friendly the game is going to be and how they can implement some things and other things that they couldn't. Wabbajack is lore friendly apparently, and then they're gonna, I don't know. It's just,
I
thought it was interesting.
Daedric artifacts have been around for quite a while, I think. And we're going to assume that the Wabbitjack will be connected to the Fighters Guild questline because they've said Daedric artifacts are, saw through your time with, like, the Fighters Guild. So it's going to be tied into that.
No combat pets. Tear rolls down my cheek. See, now previously, I want to say it was Nick Conkle that I heard that he said there was going to be combat pets. Now, possibly what he had meant by that was like the minions within, the Daedric summoning tree, right? Within the mages
conjuration.
Yeah.
So conjure familiar, conjure zombies.
Right, that might have been what he meant by combat pets, because there's no actual pets in the sense of like the ranger class.
The type of pet
class
that you can get and like name and always have with you, your companion. Yeah, that won't be there. You're getting temporary things. So any sort of conjuration thing where you're conjuring like a stone acronac, it's a temporary thing. But that's technically a pet. I mean, it's a combat pet there. So that's the type of combat pet you'll see.
And then once again, I think all the devs are really trying to push this forward. Was that the launch was not pushed back because of the consoles or anything. They were pushing it back because of the feedback, and that they wanted to make ESO feel as much as a test game as possible. And that was his words. They wanted to make this game feel as much as a test game as possible. So that's one of the reasons it was pushed back, or the main reason.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard them say this a lot now, and I guess I'll just take them at their word. But what's the most interesting about this is that, remember back in the day when we first started ESO Weekly and they were saying, okay guys, this is an Elder Scrolls game that's online, but remember, it's an MMO. They're totally shying away from the word MMO now. Mm-hmm. They're not even using it. They're saying Elder Scrolls, and even Paul Sage corrected a guy in an interview that we're going to talk about in a little bit here, where he corrects the guy and says, I like to think of it more as an Elder Scrolls multiplayer than as an Elder Scrolls MMO. Is it Fyroar? Okay, it was probably
with the
Fyroar.
Gamerzine.
At the Gamerzine, yep, you got it. So I definitely, and that makes me most excited, of course, and obviously makes the test crowd a bit more excited than maybe the traditional MMO crowd. But I don't know. Following this project, we're looking for something different. We're looking for a fresh take on the whole MMO aspect.
Let's segue on into the 10-Ton Hammer with the interview they had with Nick Conkle. Love Nick. He's awesome.
Yes, he is the head gameplay designer, right? Like combat-wise and stuff like that. That's what he works on.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a statement, not a question. But yes, he's lead gameplay designer.
Conkle describes how the MMO purist ditch third person for first person view. He was mentioning how, let me just read the quote. We've noticed with MMO purists, they start liking first person with a ranged weapon like a bow or staff, and then after they get used to the basics of the perspective change, they take the whole thing on that way. So, we're talking about MMO purists that, like WoW players, whatever, that are very used to the third-person perspective. They start playing ESO in first person, like for the bow or staff, and then they end up staying playing that perspective. They don't switch back to the third person.
I like that.
Crazy.
So the bows and the staff, like those are the gateway drug into first person, right? Because it makes sense. Right. I mean, you'd want to use a bow in first person because you get that kind of FPS feel, like you're a first person shooter.
You're more level aiming at them, yeah.
Sure. And then I think that's so funny because I always thought initially when this game was announced and I heard that there was going to be first person and third person, stuff like that, I was thinking this is going to be the game that's going to have a bunch of first person people go in and play it and then maybe convert some first person people to third person.
Yeah,
but we're getting the opposite here. We're getting converts from third to first person, which I think is very cool, man. I'm always pro immersion. Anything that makes people get lost in the world more. That's what I do in my games is I get lost in them. So a big thumbs up from me, of course, from this. That was a very interesting read in that article.
And that was it for that that interview. So let's go to the Gamerzine interview that they had with Matt Fyroar. Not a huge amount of information here at all. But one thing, I didn't know if you knew, did you know Jeremy Soule did the main theme?
I did not
ESO?
Know that until I saw this interview.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
He apparently did the main theme, when I thought it sounded epic, and I was... Man, it does sound... You can definitely hear the Elder Scrolls in there, without a doubt. It's not exactly like the Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim theme, but
Right.
you got some chords in there without a doubt, and that's really cool.
Yeah, Zoss basically instructed him that they wanted it to seem older, like an older song, because it's 1,000 years in the past. But also they wanted to be kind of like war heavy, because that's the focus of this game, since we have 3 alliances going at it.
Yes. But that's cool. I like that a lot. Now get him for the rest of the freaking songs. Come on. Sign that guy.
I don't know, because they have that whole randomly generated stuff going on.
Yeah. I just want new material from Jeremy Soule, because that guy's a god.
Yep.
Period.
All right, so before we go into the community segment, let us go into the developer question of the week.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Rosemary Ryan. I'm the Global Training Manager for ZeniMax Online Studios, and I'm based in Galway, Ireland. The developer question of the week today is, in the Elder Scrolls Online, you come across some treasure chests. You get to the bottom of the dungeon. One of the chests is unlocked. What do you hope to find inside?
What would you like to find in a chest?
What would I like to find in a chest? 1,000,000 gold.
Just 1,000,000?
Yes.
You can have all the gold in the world.
1,000,000 gold septiums.
Are you petting your cat right now?
Yes.
You're hairless? So, what would we like to find? That's kind of like a loaded question.
Like I said, I wish... I think
every possible awesomest armor piece there is, and weapon, and a billion jillion gold.
the sword of 1,000 truths.
Holy crap.
I would love... Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's open up this question and try to make it less stupid, because I think it is like a dumb question. I always wish that ZeniMax would come up with a little bit more, relevant gameplay type stuff. But okay. Let's say rarity in items. You know what I would love to see? Legendary items brought back to MMOs. It's something that World of Warcraft did very well initially in Vanilla WoW.
Okay, when you say legendary, you mean like unique. There's only like one of them.
There's only like one of them in the freaking world, and to see somebody with this item is like...
You like bow down. Slash bow.
Dude, I remember for the first time I saw my first legendary weapon. There was a guy standing in Ironforge with it, and I saw this weapon. I was like, dude, that looks so badass. I've never seen it before. And I inspect them, and turns out it's
orange.
It's orange, and I'm like,
the hell?
What is this? Oh my god, this is an item that only this guy has.
Is that back when like purples were like uber rare?
Yeah, and
blues were the highest you can get, basically.
Epic items were actually epic,
Yeah.
and that they were hard to get. But yeah, and this is coming from a guy who's a more casual player, especially when it comes to the gear treadmill. I'm not the guy in the best gear. I've never been that guy. I've always looked up to those guys, and been like, man, that guy does really good in this game. Like, he plays a lot and stuff and is able to get that shit. Like, I like seeing those guys, because I like seeing the fact that there's other people in the game that are better than me and just have this awesome shit that I get to look at
Gives
and
you
be
something
like,
to strive for.
sure, yeah, definitely.
I want to be him.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I've always liked that in MMOs. I thought it was a very cool element that they've taken away, and they've blamed it on the casuals, where I don't think a lot of casuals really cry out about that sort of thing.
So what are we
as much.
actually going to find in chests? Probably like food.
Food. Yeah, I can see finding a lot of food.
Some crappy sword.
I always like the chest that I'm trying to break into with a lockpick. She said in this scenario it's unlocked, but I'm going to say in my scenario it's locked. And I break like 3 lockpicks on it. I like when I find like 5 lockpicks, because I'm like, yes!
Bonus!
See, I redeemed all my lockpicks.
And like 12 gold, so you're like, oh man, this is perfect.
It's I've gained. It's a net gain at that point.
Yeah, I'm not really going to answer this question, because like, how can you answer it seriously? You're just going to want to be like, well, I want the best damn armor in the game to be sitting in there for me. But that's not going to happen. So, yeah, I'm not going to answer it.
I want to find Wabbajack.
Well, I guess that was it. So let's go into
leave your guys' answers, I guess. Let us know
Sure.
what you would like to find, and maybe
What
you
would
can
you like to find?
take the question more seriously
girlfriend?
than us.
Let's go into the community segment. First off, let's talk about the Tamriel Foundry video done by Atropos. It is an amazing 20-minute long overview of ESO entirely. Like the entirety of the game is condensed down into 20 minutes into an amazing video done by Atropos.
Yes, very nicely done and edited. I told him too, I sent him a tweet right after that. I was like, I just got finished watching your overview. Make videos more often, because like it was good. It was very well done. It pretty much, and it's great for catching people up. So if you have friends out there that are just getting interested in ESO now because maybe the console announcement made them their ears perked up after they heard the console announcement, because now they're gonna play it. Show them the overview video that they did for Tamriel Foundry, to just get them caught up on all the information. It pretty much sums up what we know so far.
Well, first play them the 21 Reasons video.
Yes. No, seriously, that's a good point. And we're pushing our own crap here. But the 21 Reasons video on the channel, when I was making that video, I always thought it was a good hook. So it's a great video to show people who you want to get into the Elder Scrolls Online that maybe are just traditional test fans. Because that video is geared for the traditional test fan, and it says, hey, you like the test games? Well, guess what? Elder Scrolls Online is going to have this from the test games, and that from the test games, and this. Great hook to get them in, and then once they watch that, throw the overview video on them.
Because the 21 is slightly outdated. There's some things that have changed in that video, but that's why you then show them this Atropos thing where it has everything possible.
So if you're trying to push the drugs, that is the Elder Scrolls Online, you'll want the hook and then the sinker, which is the overview. So we'll have a link to that video, though, the Tamriel Foundry video in the video description below.
So like it and share it, please.
Yeah, check that out after you're done watching this.
Now let's go into the Shaudience Q&A.
Yes.
Where you guys ask us questions and we answer them as terribly as possible.
Yes.
And that's at askshoddy@gmail.com. So if you do have a question, send them there. The first one is from Matthew Day.
Hey Shoddycast, I'm Pichu, and my question is, I've always wanted to break the stereotype and become a necromancer that fights for the good of things. In Skyrim, you could become a conjurer, but the only necromancy was raising corpses, whereas the enemy necromancers could easily conjure up skeletal minions, like most necromancers should. How do you think necromancy will be implemented into ESO? Just as enemies? Or a skill line that you can actually learn to make you known as a necromancer? Keep up the amazing work.
We do know that necromancy will be a skill line, but we haven't had any more information than that.
So there will be a skill line called necromancy that they've mentioned.
Apparently, yes. They said it had something to do with the Mages Guild.
Okay, cool. Yes.
But as to what that entails, what kind of spells we'll see in there, no freaking clue. But I just know that they had mentioned there is necromancy in the game.
That's very interesting, yeah. I like necromancy as an independent skill line. The whole skeleton zombie thing is very cool.
Bring back the Guild Wars, original Guild Wars version with 16 minions running around.
I'm trying to think. I think it's funny that because at the time period this game, the Elder Scrolls Online, is based in, the Mages Guild it's really just been born not too long ago by Vanus Galerian, who founded the Mages Guild. And the reason he found it was to kind of oppose, what's the other guy's name? Basically the anti Vanus Galerian, Manamarco.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Manamarco is a big-time necromancer. So I thought that the Mages Guild at this time would be opposing necromancy.
They should be
opposed.
But that might be why. Maybe you can choose.
That would be interesting. So there's a choice in the Mages Guild quest line that, like, you can
this
either go...
This is all speculation, by the way.
Yeah, this is total speculation. I'm just thinking, like, lore-wise here, how do we explain why the Mages Guild is letting you use necromancy? Because it has been an organization that's really flip-flopped with that issue a lot. And it's against necromancy for one guild leader, and then all of a sudden it's for it. So I would like to see a branching decision. That would be cool.
All right, next question is from Sean Thompson.
Hello, Sharkcast. I've been listening to the news of ESO and a lot of it surrounding PvP, but I believe no one has ever asked about the healing in the game. When it comes to games like WoW and other MMOs, healing is severely overpowered in most cases. I remember in WoW being frustrated by the ridiculous amount of heals a player could dish out, especially druids in the game, and how one healer could essentially rob you of a win by kiting your remaining teammates around a pillar while healing until the timer ended with a draw. While in other games like Guild Wars 2, healing is rather limited and people can actually die, but there are no real main healers. I know in PvE having powerful heals are important to survive fights due to hard-hitting bosses and their abilities, but this translation to PvP makes them ridiculous and obviously overpowered. So my question is simply your thoughts about healing in MMOs, and what do you think the healing system will be like in ESO? Thank you for your time.
I really like this question because he gives examples of past MMOs and the whole healing system in PvP and stuff. So he was mentioning how like a druid can hide behind a wall and just start spamming heals on his group and pretty much keep them up to win the game or whatever. You can't do that in ESO because there's no targeted heals in ESO. To heal, you have to be in the mix of it. You have to be there in the danger zone to heal your friends because they only have AoE heals and conal heals. So you have to be like close to your friend and facing them to be able to heal them.
Yeah, you're not gonna like snipe heal like we could see in another MMOs where the healer's off hiding in the bushes somewhere, snipe healing from a distance, and so you're gonna see healers on the front line, which is gonna make them a serious target too. So go after those healers. They're in the middle of the fray like everyone else. I also don't think that the mana pools are going to be nearly as large. Like we saw just massive, if you had the right gear, you'd have massive mana pools, like infinite reserves.
You could almost, heal infinitely almost. Yeah.
And that became a real issue in MMOs like World of Warcraft. And I think we know that they're a lot smaller in the Elder Scrolls Online.
It's definitely going to be one of those things again where you're going to have to really think about the tactics of everything. Should I spend the mana or whatever they call it, the magicka, to cast this, or should I just let that person die and focus on the other group over here or something to start spamming those AoE heals while I can? So you're just gonna the tactics in this game is gonna be immense because you will have to make those kind of decisions and stuff, and not to mention you're gonna be in the thick of it all the time to heal. So it's going to be interesting to see how heals does in this game. Next question from our friend Sterling Jennings.
Hey Shadowcast, it's Sterling Jennings. I've recently realized that a lot of new info has come out about guilds, and I've got a personal question for you guys about the Shadowcast guild. If we were able to name ranks, what would you guys name yours? If we could have a sigil, what would it be? And what would our colors be? On more of a speculation note, if we could have a guild costume like Dwarven, Daedric, or Elven, what would ours be? Thanks guys, keep up the fantastic work. Oh, and long live the Queen.
For the Queen! I want to have the most scraggly, I want beggar's clothes. That's going to be our uniform.
But they will be blue and white.
Yes.
Because that's our color.
Blue and white beggar's clothes, with holes in them and stuff. Very shoddy.
Yeah, blue and white, definitely the colors. What do you think about a sigil? Obviously we don't know what kind of sigils will be available. But what would we like to see, do you think?
Well, if it was sigils you could make a guild quest in World of Warcraft and they had a bunny, they could do a bunny or a butterfly. Let's do something stupid like that.
Something dumb,
something
it needs
dumb.
to be shoddy. That's all we know. It needs to look shoddy.
I do want it to be, I will say this, though. Whatever we come up with, it will be lore friendly. It will be lore friendly. We'll find a way.
Anything else you'd like to add?
I guess the only thing to add to that, because the inevitable question we'll get from this is, how do I join the Shoddycast Guild? And right now, our guild has a presence on the shoddycast.com. If you go to the guild, go to the forums there, we have a guild forum on there where you can sign up, introduce yourself to everyone. As far as the way invites will be sent out, go ahead and follow us on Twitter or Facebook, because of the social integration, that's how we're going to send out our invites for the Shoddycast.
Yeah, we're really hoping that ZeniMax themselves will put out some kind of website that allows for guild name reservations and signups, like SWTOR did, because that would make things just so easy and wonderful.
Yeah.
But don't expect anything like guild-related from us until probably next year, early next year at least, because we have so much time until the game releases.
Oh, yeah, this is not something I'm immediately worried about, is the guild thing. It's basically pretty much everybody introducing themselves to our fellow community members on the forums, and we're throwing ideas back and forth, guys, because the Shoddycast guilds, you're going to be able to join multiple guilds first of all in ESO, so
5 guilds per account.
There's no excuse why I guess you wouldn't want to join the Shoddycast unless you're just that popular and you have that many guilds coming to you asking you to sign up with them. But the Shoddycast is going to be a social guild, and I want everybody to keep that in mind. This isn't a guild where we're going to have organized raids and stuff like that every Tuesday or anything. It's going to be specific events that we're going to host and just fun like RP stuff or our PvP stuff, probably like once a month.
Probably running around naked. Or
running around
something.
in nude, fun shit like that.
Stuff we'll record and then post on our YouTube channel, or maybe even stream in the future. We don't know.
Yeah, so we can all be stars. Yeah. You see? And if you have any ideas for events and stuff like that, we're also discussing that also on our forums.
Yep.
So there's a thread there you can post under, and join us. Be assimilated by the Shoddycast.
So if you do have an audio question you would like to send to us, go ahead and send those to askshoddy@gmail.com. Again, those are just for audio questions. If you have text questions or whatever you would like to ask, please keep that to our Twitter or to our Facebook page, or I think even our website will answer them.
Our
every once in a
website
while.
or on YouTube, whatever.
Right, because those usually, I guess I usually answer most of those.
You
And
answer
then-
all of them.
Yeah.
I don't answer a single one.
I didn't want to say that, but okay, I answer pretty much all the
Yeah,
questions.
I mean, if you guys haven't caught on yet, Kyle's more or less the community manager of Shoddycast. He answers your guys' questions and does all that stuff, so I can, I'm the one editing the videos mostly and stuff like that.
Yep,
so.
and then every once in a while I'll post an article on our website that does feature quite a bit of the questions you guys ask, along with the answers that I have given.
Yes.
So, yep.
Yes, or ask us anything. So definitely send your questions in, because they will be answered usually.
Yep. All right, the best part of the video, our sponsors of the week.
Yes, the ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, that make this all possible.
First one is from Gruger. Oh, wow. Bad.
It's Gregory, right?
Gregory.
That's Gregory.
Mitchell.
Are you okay? You're having a stroke over
I'm
there?
good. I'm good. My mouth is kind of just not working. Thank you, sir. Next one from Martin. Oh God, Horchner, and he wanted to promote his Daggerfall Covenant Guild. It is called Tamriel Trading Company, and you can see them and what they're all about over at tamrieltradingcompany.com.
Cool. That sounds like a lore-friendly guild, too.
Yeah. Next one from Travis Patillo. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next one from Alexander Hogue. Oh God. Vakajdar. To be thieves of the sand. It is our name and our way of life. Seek out Kadar if one wishes to apply. I'm not sure where to
Speaks
go.
the words of the Khajiit.
Yes.
Now, a Khajiit guild, isn't that kind of like herding cats?
What?
Herding cats.
Herding cats?
I thought, aren't the Khajiit like cats? They're very independent. So why would they want to join a guild?
That's true. Well, I don't know.
They got the caravans, though, so they work together and stuff. Hey, speaking of Khajiit...
Oh, God. What?
Did I scare you?
A little bit.
With my excitement? I'm sorry, dude, but I have to say this. Maik the Liar.
Oh, yeah. We forgot.
Confirmed for the Elder Scrolls Online. He is there, man. I don't know how, but he is there. So, the ultimate Easter egg has made it into the Elder Scrolls Online, and he's going to be serenading us with all his witty little banner and stuff. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Yes. I can just hear the things he says now, because he's a very self-aware character. Mm-hmm. He says things basically the developers are like winking at you and stuff like that. I could hear him saying something like, Maik does not like this land. It's much too crowded, or something like that, because it's an MMO.
It's an MMO,
Yeah.
All right. Next donation is from Richard Jordan. Thank you, sir.
Richard Jordan. Today, I think you have ascended. I think you have left us mere mortals and become one of the immortal Daedra. Or Aedra, sorry. You want to be a Daedra? I don't know. The Daedra are pretty powerful. We'll start with Aedra. What god should we give him? What god should Richard ascend to?
Zenithar?
We already had somebody took... Zenithar is a good one.
Could be Zenithar?
The god of work and commerce.
Yeah.
Okay, Richard. You are officially... Zenithar. What does the sound? What does the god of commerce sound like?
I don't know.
I mean,
Cha-ching.
Zenithal. Wait, no, that's like warlike. What would commerce? What would?
Cash register.
He's the
sound.
god of
Cha-ching.
Zenithal. See?
Richard would like to once again promote his Obsidian Brotherhood Guild. It is in the Ebonheart Pact, and it is PC only. So if you want to check that out, go to obsidianbrotherhood.com. Next donation from Timothy Ellis.
Dragonborn.
And he says, I'd like it if you guys discussed the ShoddyCast events ideas thread on your forums. Oh, we already did that.
Hey, that's weird. I didn't
Might draw
read
in
this.
some more folks. The nude raids in particular. That's important. Wink, smiley face.
There are a lot of people in our forums that want us to go on nude raids. I don't know what it is about ESO and nakedness, but seems to attract those
Well,
types.
I'm sure we'll do
Maybe
it
we'll
eventually.
start our little nudist community and we'll just have a tavern full of nudes. So when the normal players walk in, they're like, what the hell? What are all these nudists doing here?
Hey, get out of here. What are you doing with clothes on?
That'd be awesome. Nude marathons, just parade through the main city with a bunch of nude
All right.
shotties.
All right, next one is from Dean Valentine. And he says, Tharm D. Gilsney, I wish these things were in English, is a die-hard hardcore guild that encourages strategic thinking and teamwork. You can apply and learn more about the guild on tharmdkilnsey.engine.com. I'm sure you can have those on the screen, right?
Yes, I
Okay,
know you don't
good,
watch our episodes,
good.
but that's what I do.
All right. Thank you, sir. Next one is from Charlie Boychuk. And he says, please promote my Twitch/YouTube broadcast under my screen name, Ferrock. The Ferrock feed, airing Friday or Saturday if I'm busy, for discussion on ESO news, forum threads of interest, and gameplay of various PC titles. Well, there you go, Charlie. Next one. I don't know what I felt like doing. Next one is from Alberto Aranda. Thank you, sir. And then, of course, our beloved friend Mark Dixon. Akatosh. Cool. Hey, our Scottish friend, once again, Jeff Truscott. Thank you, sir. Where's my haggis? You haven't sent my haggis yet. All right. Another one from Michael Patterson. The Sons of Sithis. We are the sons and daughters of Sithis. We are a Ebonheart Pact guild that seeks to unite all characters who follow the Dread Father to protect the Brotherhood's homeland. People can find us on tessoff.com. Sorry I didn't do my LeChance voice because I don't have
that's
one.
fine. You should have a password, though, to get into the Sons of Sithis, you know?
You should.
What is the... Insert here. Color of night, the music of
Something like
life,
that. That would
something
be cool.
like that.
Yeah, that would be good. And then, of course, Reese Garland. Thank you, sir. And that is it for our sponsors of the week. If you would like to become one of these legendary peoples, just go to our website, shoddycast.com, and you'll see a little donation button underneath our weekly polls. And of course, if you do want to be promoted here on the ShoddyCast channel here, just donate at least $10 and, put your little message there in the comment box that's on the donation thing. Did that make any sense whatsoever? I think I made it even worse.
No, that
Okay.
makes sense. Yeah, leave
Okay,
your little
cool.
message, and we'll throw it out there for all the world to see.
All right.
You have been listening/watching the ShoddyCast channel with Josh and Kyle. Don't forget to like and share this video with everyone you know. I have been Josh.
And I've been Kyle.
We'll catch you later.
Bye.